Dream is the idea that your kids can have a better life than you do, and to make this dream a reality, we have to make sure that all children in this country have access to an excellent education.
We have some questions from our audience that I'd like to pose to you both. Haha, this is a good one. Nancy from Brooklyn writes, the state of public schools right now sounds rather depressing. How can parents get involved to bring about change? Crystal.
I think being involved in their school community is one of the most important things, that they should be holding schools accountable for performance, and that they should be invested in the kind of policies that schools have to make sure that they can accomplish things such as recruiting the highest quality new teaching talent into their buildings, and that there are policies that allow for new types of teachers to come into classrooms. For example, an engineer to come in and teach 7th grade geometry after they've been vetted through a very rigorous selection program.
And I think it's interesting too, I don't know that parents automatically think about this, but I'm a writer, so the public schools have used me to help share my expertise in the classroom. And I think, you know, it's good to be aware that it is a public school and you can bring your expertise. And my little community is making forays into the community, like publicly saying at Board of Ed meetings, you know, does anyone have an expertise on this? And with success, we have started a few programs with our sort of extracurricular stuff that in my town is run through a lottery system, and it's free and it's after school. There's a wildly popular Lego program that teaches math and engineering that a dad actually, who is an engineer, runs it. So you can really, it's worth your time to bring what you're good at and what you know into the classroom, and that your kids benefit too, and it's...
Yeah, it's that practical application.
Exactly.
Next question from Miranda. Now, how can a parent judge a teacher's ability to teach well, even if they don't appreciate their teaching style?
I would say it's all about growth. So you want to see your children come into a grade at one place and to move and to improve and to learn something. So as a parent, I would say to be very sort of reflective of where your kids enter, and be mindful of to the extent to which they're improving and the extent to which you're satisfied with that level of growth.
I'd also say, as far as bad teachers go, two of my kids survived bad teachers at our elementary school. That was the reputation of the teacher anyway. And you know, whether that teacher is good or bad, that's really depends on the person's opinion who's telling the story. Both of my kids thrived in these bad teacher classrooms, and I think there's something to be said. As a parent, I think you need to look at your child, because often the teachers that get a bad rap, the parents don't like them, but the kids do. And I think that's very telling. Both of these teachers, the kids themselves don't complain about, but the parents do. So, you know, take a step back and sort of think about that. Are you listening to the other parents? Are you listening to your child? Go in the classroom. You know, see for yourself. Mm-hmm. And if, like Crystal says, if the child is progressing, that's all you really want.
Very good. This mom writes, can you offer examples of innovative new approaches to the classroom that have been proven to improve the quality of education?
Well, I can think of a few examples of some innovations, and one of which is increasing the pipelines by which we bring teachers into the classroom. So alternative route certification programs, for example. I think we can be innovative about how we certify and license our teachers to teach, again, to allow more individuals who really are very interested and dedicated and who demonstrate potential to be excellent teachers, to find a way into the classroom.
We talked a little earlier about private money going into the public schools, and one program that we had at our middle school was a hot air balloon event. And the entire school, 600 kids, came and witnessed this hot air balloon demonstration. And what the teachers who brought this program into the schools, it was an art teacher, a math teacher, and a science teacher. So all the kids went through this hot air balloon event, and then each of the teachers took what was gleaned from that experience and put it into their classroom. There was an art application, a science application, and a math application from it. And that's just because a teacher had an idea, and was clever enough to find some funding, and it wasn't that expensive, and the kids loved it. It was a great, interesting day. And I think whatever we can do as a community, as parents and public school system, to give teachers the opportunity in training or just with
support,
money or support to follow their passions and bring it to the children, that's what the kids remember and take away the most, I think.
Keeping it fresh. Yeah, I agree. The last question that we have, we're running out of time, from Jessica in Northampton, Massachusetts. Now, what is one of the best things parents can do to ensure their child get the most out of their education? Study, study, study.
I think just being generally supportive and making it clear to the kids that academics is important. Like, I'll say to my kids, your job is to be the best student you can be. That's your primary job. You know, you can help with chores and all that, and I expect help around the house, but your main job is to be a good student. Sports is great, extracurricular stuff is great, but get the best grades you can and make your home environment conducive to you know, quiet if necessary. I like noise, actually, when I'm trying to focus. It's weird, but, you know, setting up a comfortable area to do homework, etc., you know, just to, and showing the kids that school's important.
Crystal?
I would second that, and I would just add that being involved in your children's education experience is probably the best thing you can do as a parent.
And talking about, you know, private foundations bringing money into the public school system, there's a lot of philanthropic organizations out there that are really interested in bolstering the public schooling system with their money raising activities.
I think the involvement of foundations in the public education community is critical to bringing awareness to the situation, and groups such as Strong American Schools is a leader in this. What I would say about sort of the dollar line here is that we need to be careful to not fall into this trap of thinking that money is the answer. And the key is, though money is important, that we're being very strategic about the uses of funds in public schools. For example, Washington, D.C. has one of the highest per pupil allocations in the country, and it is one of the lowest performing school districts in this nation. So it is not only about dollars, it's about the use of that money, and I would reinforce just one more time that at the end of the day, the teachers are the most important school-based factor in improving educational outcomes for kids.
Well, there is so much to think about, and that's exactly what we wanted to do today, provoke thought, an awful lot of food for thought. And as parents, you know, you need to get out there and exercise your right to vote, make your voices heard, get in your schools, you know, be your advocate for your child, and make sure you can affect change. And with this election year coming, it's only what, like, you know, a couple of weeks away now at this point, so we've got to really make our voices heard and get out there and change those statistics, so in the next 10 years when we're doing this same subject again, the statistics will be a little bit better. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, please email us, and Crystal and Anne, of course, will be able to answer any questions that you have related to education. We thank you very much for joining us on this Real Savvy Moms webcast. We'll see you again soon.